Gaza City is once again engulfed in heavy bombardment and ground operations, marking one of the most intense phases of the war since it began nearly 2 years ago. On Tuesday, Israel's Defense Minister Yoav Gallant declared that Gaza is burning as the army pressed forward with a major offensive, backed by overnight airstrikes that killed dozens of people. Israeli officials say the aim is to dismantle Hamas's military infrastructure and create conditions for the release of hostages, around 20 of whom are still believed to be alive. Yet the escalation has raised alarm not only among international observers, but also inside Israel itself, where the families of hostages staged protests outside the Prime Minister's residence, terrified that the intensified campaign could endanger their loved ones. On the ground, Palestinian civil defense teams are warning of what they describe as a major massacre, with at least 40 people reported killed in the opening hours of the operation and many more displaced. According to the United Nations, tens of thousands of residents have fled south in recent days after new evacuation orders, but about 200,000 people remain trapped in Gaza City, many unable to leave because of cost, insecurity, or the poor conditions in overcrowded shelters. Aid groups such as the World Food Program and UNICEF say the displacements are exhausting families' resources, cutting off food supplies, and leaving some 26,000 children in urgent need of treatment for severe acute malnutrition. In short, the humanitarian picture is dire, and each new strike adds to the catastrophe. At the same moment that Israel's military campaign is expanding, a major international legal development is taking shape. On Tuesday, an independent commission operating under the UN Human Rights Council accused Israel of committing genocide in Gaza. This independent international commission of inquiry, created in 2021, released a 72-page report citing evidence that Israeli authorities and security forces have carried out 4 of the 5 acts defined under the 1948 Genocide Convention: killing members of a protected group, inflicting serious harm, imposing conditions of life calculated to destroy the group, and even measures to prevent births. Commission Chair Navi Pillay, a former UN High Commissioner for Human Rights, emphasized that intent could be inferred from both the scale of destruction and statements by Israeli leaders. Israel's government immediately rejected the findings as biased and unfounded, calling for the body's dissolution. It is worth noting that the UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres himself has condemned the humanitarian crisis in Gaza in strong terms but has not used the word genocide. Still, the Commission's conclusion is unprecedented in this conflict and could have consequences in international courts such as the International Court of Justice, where South Africa has already brought a genocide case against Israel. The accusations also amplify diplomatic pressure. Spain has already referred to the war as genocide, while France and the United Kingdom have stopped short of that language. The debate underscores how the legal framing of the war is becoming as contested as the military battles themselves. Reactions from world leaders highlight just how divisive this latest stage has become. The UN's human rights chief, Volker Turk, demanded an end to what he called the carnage, warning of mounting evidence of atrocity crimes. The European Union said the offensive would bring more destruction, more death, and more displacement. And its executive arm is preparing new sanctions that could target extremist Israeli ministers, violent settlers, and even parts of the EU-Israel trade agreement. Britain's Foreign Secretary denounced the operation as totally irresponsible and appalling. Meanwhile, humanitarian agencies are bracing for the worst, pointing to famine, disease, and relentless strikes that have already left Gaza's health system in ruins. According to Gaza's health ministry, over 64,000 people have been killed since the conflict erupted in October 2023, following Hamas's surprise attack on southern Israel that left around 1,200 dead and more than 200 taken hostage. Nearly 2 years later, the war shows no sign of ending, and for civilians in Gaza City, survival itself has become a daily struggle. In the coming days, several countries, including France, Canada, Belgium, and Australia, are expected to support recognition of a Palestinian state at the United Nations in New York, while Israel insists it will continue operations until Hamas is dismantled. The world is watching closely, but inside Gaza, what people feel most is exhaustion. No safety, no certainty, and for far too many, no way out.